Hello and welcome back everyone. From this video, we are now starting our HTML journey. In this video, we are going to learn what is HTML document structure and why we should learn HTML. So let's get started. So first of all, we are going to understand what is HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. This is the full form of your HTML. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. In a very simple term, if I tell you, HTML is used to design web pages using markup language. This is the simplest definition of your HTML, that it is used to design web pages using markup language. HTML is the combination of hypertext and markup language. Hypertext and markup together form this word HTML. And later in this video, we are going to understand what is hypertext and what is markup, because it is important to understand what is hypertext and what is markup. As of now, you need to understand that HTML is what? It is the combination of hypertext and markup language, and it is used to design web pages using markup language. Hypertext markup language is not a programming language. Important point. Please don't call HTML as a programming language. It is a markup language used to tell your browser how to structure the web pages. Suppose you want to design a web page. In that web page, on right hand side you need to insert an image, on left hand side you need to put some text. So which language you are going to use? We are going to use HTML to tell our browser how to structure the web page. So it is not a programming language, it is a markup language. HTML was created by Tim Berners-Lee in 1991. The first ever version of HTML was HTML 1.0, but the first standard version was HTML 2.0, published in 1999. The latest version of HTML is HTML5. And with this, you are going to learn the latest version of HTML, and that is HTML5. HTML, as I already told you, is the combination of hypertext and markup language. And now, one by one, we are going to understand what do you mean by hypertext and what do you mean by markup. So the definition of hypertext is a word. Okay, what do you mean by hypertext? The definition of hypertext is a word or words that contains a link to a website. Means in your web page, you are going to create some words. The moment when a user click on that word, he or she will be redirected to another website. So the definition of hypertext is a word or words that contains a link to a website. Let me show you a quick example of hypertext. But before that, you need to understand the term hypertext was coined by Ted Nelson in 1963. So HTML was created by Tim Berners-Lee, but this term hypertext was coined by Ted Nelson in 1963. Now let me show you a quick example of hypertext. Suppose in your website we need to create a word Facebook. Okay, and what we want, the moment when someone click on this word Facebook, we want our user to redirect to the facebook.com. For that, in HTML you are going to use an anchor tag. So this is how you are going to write a code in HTML if you want your user to be redirected to the Facebook page. So here we are going to use anchor tag. In this anchor tag, we are going to use href attribute, and in this href attribute, we need to specify the link. Now what do we call this link? So this link in web programming is known as hyperlink. Here you can see that what exactly happened. The moment when someone click on this Facebook word, he or she will be redirected to facebook.com. So this facebook.com is what? It's a hyperlink. And what do you mean by this Facebook? This Facebook is termed as a hypertext. I hope it is clear. Hypertext is nothing. It's a word which contains links to another website. So that means the moment when we click on Facebook, we redirected to this website facebook.com. So this link is known as hyperlink, and this text or this word is known as hypertext. Now we are going to understand markup. Now what do you mean by markup? A computer language that consists of easily understood keywords, names or tags that help format the overall view of the page and the data it contains, known as markup. So in a very simple term, markup language, or in a markup language, you are going to use tags. Suppose you want to design a web page. How you can design that web page? For designing a web page, you are going to use tags. And a computer language which uses tags is known as markup language. Some examples of markup language are HTML, SGML and XML. Means HTML, SGML, XML, they uses tags to define the structure of a web page. A markup language is a computer language that uses tags to define elements within a document. That means in order to structure or in order to design a web page, you are going to use tags. And guys, always remember, a computer language that consists of tags is known as markup language. And HTML does the same. In HTML, you are going to use tags. And due to this reason, we can call HTML as a markup language. So it is human readable, meaning markup file contains standard words rather than typical programming syntax. So markup language are very easy to read. Okay, they are human readable. Means it is human readable, meaning markup files can contain standard words rather than those typical programming syntax. Suppose you want to make your text italic, or suppose you want to make your text bold. So which tag you are going to use? You are going to use B tag. Okay, and B tag means here we are going to make our text a bold. Let me show you an example of markup. Let's say I want to print this text on my web page. Let's say we are about to design a web page and this text we need to display in our web page. So here we can use HTML tag paragraph, and here in order to highlight this full stack development course, here we are using this B. So guys, what is B here is? B here is a tag, and what this tag will do, it will make your full stack development course to be appear in a bold letters. So the moment when you write this piece of code, you will be going to have this output. So what is P here? What is B here? They are tags, and a computer language that comprises of tag is known as markup language. Now, this is something really important. Before you start writing complicated program, or before we start designing web pages, we need to understand HTML document structure. And guys, mark my word, it is really very important. That means whenever you are going to design a web page, no matter what, if you're about to design an e-commerce website or a university kind of a website, you are going to use this document structure for sure. So you can see, or you can say that this is going to be the standard HTML document structure. Now one by one we are going to understand this doc type HTML, HTML head, title, body. Everything I will be explaining you step by step. So first of all, let's get started with this tag, doc type HTML. This tells your browser that you are going to use HTML file. Okay, you are going to use what? We are going to use HTML5. How your browser came to know that we are using HTML4, HTML3? For that, we generally use this piece of code. Okay, and this tag says that we are about to use HTML5. Then HTML is going to be the root tag of your web page. Means whenever you are going to design a web page, you are going to use this HTML root tag. In this HTML tag, we are going to have head tag, we have title tag, and we have body tag. Okay, so if I show you the example of title tag, here you can see we are writing this HTML as our title. So what this title will do? This title will appear the moment when someone open your website. I'm pretty sure that you have seen this. The moment when you open facebook.com, observe the title or observe this area. Here you will be going to have the title. This is going to be the name of your website, and this is going to be the body of your web page. Means this text structure of HTML you can write within the body tag. So guys, this HTML document structure you need to understand very carefully, because whenever we are going to design any web page, we are going to use this HTML document structure. And mark my word, it's very simple. Very soon you all are going to be used to it. Okay, so let's see, or let's understand these tags one by one. So guys, first of all, you are going to use this tag, doc type HTML. Now, the first line defines what type of content the document contains. Here, doc type HTML means the page which we are about to design is written in HTML5. After this, you are going to use HTML tag, and guys, this is called the HTML root element. All other elements are contained within it. Body tag, head tag, title tag, every tag comes inside your HTML root element. Okay, then we have head. Now in this head tag, we can specify keywords related information. So the head tag contains behind the scene elements for a web page. The page title, metadata, and links to referenced files are placed between the head tags. Let's take an example. Suppose we are about to design a web page. Okay, in that web page we need to set a title. So where you are going to put that title? Inside head tag. Suppose you are using some kind of a JavaScript files, or we are using some kind of a CSS files. So JavaScript file we can use in order to provide some dynamic effect to our web pages. CSS files we will be using in order to make our web page more presentable and attractive. So if you are using external CSS, or if you are using any JavaScript file, those files information or those reference file we need to specify in head tag. So guys, head tag we will be using for title if we are about to use some, or in future when we are using CSS and JavaScript, we are going to specify that referenced file within this head tag. Now after this head tag, you are going to have the title tag. The title tag is an HTML code that allows you to give a web page a title. Suppose the name of your website is My E-commerce store. Okay, so you can put this My E-commerce title in this title tag. So this title can be found in the browser title bar as well as in the search engine result pages. That means if I'm going to the Google and if I type My E-commerce store, so search engine will look for this title. So title tag is also an important tag. Okay, and let me show you where it will be displayed. It will be displayed over here. Okay, like this. Suppose the name of our web page is My E-commerce store. So this is where we are going to display My E-commerce store. And in order to specify this title, we are going to use title tag. Now after title tag, we have body tag. Now the body tag is one of the most important HTML tag or element. The body tag defines the document's body. The body elements contains all the content of an HTML document such as headings, paragraphs, images, hyperlinks, tables, lists, etc. In a simple term, the body content is what the browser will show on the front end. So that means if you want to design a web page, let's say you want to use images, you want to use text, you want to use sections. So where you are going to define all these stuff? In a body tag. Okay. So guys, this is going to be the standard HTML document structure. It starts with an HTML tag. Then we need to use head. Within this head, we can write a title tag, and this is going to be the body tag. Now, practically, I would like to show you this HTML document structure, because every time whenever we are going to design a web page, we are going to use this standard HTML document structure. Now for practical part, I will be using my Visual Studio Code. In this Visual Studio Code, I have created this folder, VS Files, and now within this VS Files, I'm going to create a new file. Okay, and here we need to understand one more concept. Whenever you are going to create an HTML file, okay, whenever you are about to create an HTML file, you need to set an extension. Okay, we need to specify an extension. And what is extension? Now we'll focus on it. So an HTML file is nothing more than plain ASCII text, but all HTML files must have a special file extension for web browsers to recognize them. And this extension is .html. That means whenever you are going to design a web page, you are going to create a file. And how you are going to save that file? You are going to save that file with .html extension. Because for HTML file, this .html is the extension. So always keep this in your mind. How you are going to save your HTML file? With .html extension. And same process will follow over here. So guys, in my Visual Studio Code, I'm going to create a new file. And the name of my file will be first.html. Okay, so if you are using Visual Studio Code, this is how you can create a file. So .html means that here we are creating an HTML file. Okay, and guys, here we can start writing up our code. So guys, remember the structure, same HTML document structure I will be using over here. Always remember, first of all, you are going to use this tag doctype HTML. This will tell your browser that we are going to use HTML version 5. Then HTML is going to be your root element. And in HTML, one more concept you need to understand, whatever tag you are going to open, you have to close it. Always remember, in HTML, whenever you are going to open a tag, you have to close it. Now in HTML, there are some tags which you don't, which is not required to be get closed, and we will be discussing about that later on. Okay, as of now, you need to understand that whatever HTML tag you are going to use, you have to close it. And guys, don't think that closing tag is different. It is just with slash. Here you can see that your tag name will remain same. All you need to do is you just need to put one forward slash. Now this forward slash means that here we are going to close this tag. So this HTML, you can see that HTML represents the root of an HTML document. Now within this HTML, the next tag which you are going to use will be your head. Now this head elements represent a collection of metadata for the document. Metadata means, suppose you want to set the title for your web page. You are going to use some CSS or you are going to use some JavaScript. So that information or that stuff you can define within this head tag. Now within this head tag, I will be using this title tag. Okay, and this is going to my title tag first HTML. Okay, so this is the title we are setting for our web page, first HTML. Now after this head, the most important tag which we have is body tag. Okay, if you want to display some images, you want to display text, you want to display nav bar in your web pages, you are going to use this section named as body. So body will be treated as the front end of your web page, means whatever content which we are about to display to our user, we have to specify that content within this body tag. Okay, as of now here I am using a very simple tag P. P is a paragraph tag in HTML. Suppose you want to write some text. So very easily you can use this paragraph. All you need to do is just use this P tag, and here you can write your text that my first HTML page. Okay, so this is how we are going to create an HTML file. Okay, and guys, always remember, whenever we are going to use or whenever we are going to create a HTML file, we have to use this HTML standard document structure. Okay, you will be using this HTML standard document structure. Now let's save it. So either you can press Ctrl S or you can go to the file menu and you can select this option save. Okay, so here I am going to use Ctrl S, or if you want to save, you can go to the file menu and you can select this option save. Now let's view the output of it. So here let me open my Explorer again, right click on your first.html and we are going to use this option, open with default browser. Okay, and this is how your HTML page will look. So guys, you can see that the title of our web page is first HTML. Okay, and this is what we have written in the body tag with the help of paragraph. So whenever we are going to create an HTML file, we are going to use this standard document structure. So now guys, you know that we are using Visual Studio Code. Okay, so now here I would like to show you the shortcut. That means you don't need to write this structure again and again. We are using what? We are using Visual Studio Code. So here let me show you a quick example. So here I am going to create one new file. The name of that file will be second.html. Okay, and focus on my screen. Here we are going to use one shortcut. All you need to do is you just need to use exclamation sign. Okay, you need to write exclamation sign and press tab key of your keyboard. Write this exclamation sign and next to what? Press the tab key of your keyboard. And you can see that this HTML standard document structure will be provided to you pre-written. Okay, so this is the beauty of Visual Studio Code. We don't need to write doc type HTML. You can see that the moment when you use that shortcut exclamation sign tab key, a standard HTML document structure will be there for you. So here lang means we are about to write our code in English language. We are going to use this UTF-8 character, means we are going to use UTF-8 as our character set. Okay, then we have some different meta tags, title tag, and you can see that an empty body tag will be provided to you. Now this meta tag later on we can use for search engine optimization. Okay, here you are showing that my web page is compatible with Internet Explorer in Microsoft Edge. So stuff like this you can define in the meta tag. Even you can delete this. Okay, we will be talking about these meta tags later on. So you can see that this HTML standard document structure will be provided to you by Visual Studio Code by just using exclamation sign and tab key. Clear? So this is going to be your standard HTML document structure. And guys, always remember that the extension of HTML file will be .html. Now, why we should learn HTML? So the first point is HTML is the foundation of all web pages. Okay, if you want to design an e-commerce store, a university application or a content management system, you are going to use HTML. Even guys, if you go to the facebook.com and right click and you try to check the source code of Facebook, you are going to observe that they are using HTML because HTML is the foundation of all web pages. If you want to design a web page and the moment when you put that web pages on some server, you have to use HTML language. So HTML is the foundation of all web pages. HTML is the beginning of everything you need to know to create engaging web pages. Mark my word, with the help of HTML you can design very beautiful websites. Then HTML is far easier to understand and learn. You have already known that HTML uses quite simple tags. For body they have body tag, for paragraph they have p tag. So HTML is far easier to understand and learn. Almost every browser supports HTML, so it is bound to show up in all browsers regardless of where it is accessed through. So don't worry, if you are going to design a web page using HTML, it can be viewed in Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Microsoft Edge, or even in an Internet Explorer. So almost every browser supports HTML. So that's it for in this video guys. Now, before I end this video, I would like to give you some challenges. So these challenges you can consider as your assignment. So the first challenge is you need to identify the relationship between browser and HTML because it will give you more clear idea that why we should use HTML for designing the web pages. So the first challenge is try to find out or try to figure out what is the relationship between browser and HTML. Then the next challenge is you need to find out what is the current version of HTML used. Then do some research and try to find out what are the advantage of HTML5 over other versions. And guys, mark my word, it is an important interview question as well. In your interviews, they may ask you what are the advantages of HTML5 over other versions. Then, which language is used to decorate style HTML element? So guys, these are the challenges which you need to perform or for which you need to perform some research. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we are going to learn about HTML tags and attributes.